Hey guys, and welcome back to the course. In this video we'll add some animations to our player character to make him look more alive. You'll see that the process of doing this for a multiplayer game is almost identical as for a single player game. So in between videos we just went ahead and created two simple animations. An idle animation for when our player will not be moving, and a run animation that we want to play when he is moving. The first thing that we need to do is to add a animator component to our player character prefab. With that done, I'll now go inside of my animations folder and I'll create a new animator controller that I'll call player AC for animator controller. Once it's been created, you can drag and drop it inside of the controller slot on the animator component that we just added to our player. Now let's go ahead and open up our player animator controller. In here, we'll drag and drop our new animations. Make sure that the idle animation is the default one that gets played at the start of the game by right-clicking on it and choosing Set as Layer Default States. Let's now click on this little plus sign up here and create a bool parameter called isRunning. This bool parameter is what we'll be setting to true or false in our player controller scripts to let the animator controller know what animation he should be playing. Now let's create a transition from the idle animation to the run animation by right clicking on idle, choosing make transition and then clicking on the run animation. If you now select it, we can set the condition to be isRunning true. This means that we'll transition from playing the idle animation to the run animation if isRunning is equal to true. We'll also uncheck has exit time and set the transition duration to 0, so that the transition happens instantly and feels nice and responsive. Likewise, we'll create a transition from the run animation back to the idle animation. This time the condition will be isRunning false. And of course, we'll uncheck has exit time and set the transition duration to 0. Okay, so with all that set up, we can open up the player controller scripts. In here, we'll create an animator variable called anim. Then inside of the start function, we'll set it to be equal to the animator component that is attached to this player character. Then we'll go right underneath the code that moves our player character. Remember that this code is wrapped in an if statement that makes sure that we are the local player, in other words, the player that we spawned in at the start of the game. So here we'll make an if statement that checks if move input is equal to vector2.0. In other words, if there is no input from the player and so no movement. If this is the case, then we'll set the animator's isMoving bool parameter to false with this line of code. Else, so if there is input and so we are moving, then we'll set isMoving to true. So to quickly recap, we're just checking if our move input is equal to vector2.0, so if there is no keyboard inputs. If that is the case, then we are setting isMoving to false. Otherwise, if move input is not equal to vector2.0, so if there is some sort of keyboard inputs, then we are setting isMoving to true. And that's it. So we can now save the script and head over back to Unity. If we just leave things as they are, it would work perfectly for a single player game. However, for a multiplayer game, only the local player will see his animations change, but the other players will not. So to synchronize these animation transitions over the network, we'll add to our player character the animator view component. On this component, you'll see our isRunning parameter. All we need to do is to make sure to set the synchronization to discrete and we'll be all good to go. So let's build our game by pressing Ctrl B or Command B if you're on the Mac. And like promised, our animations are working perfectly and they're getting seamlessly synced over the network. Our player character now feels much nicer to control. Congrats for completing this tutorial and for already getting this far in the course. You're making some great progress. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!